of the Rings, The Return of the King, it is an epic conclusion to this amazing trilogy. Everything about this film is pretty damn great, and this is a epic journey, just like the previous two films. Continuing right after the events of Two Towers, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, they're making their final way towards Mount Doom in order to destroy the One Ring once and for all. Meanwhile, characters have to join forces in order to take on Sauron and his army. I have to say, this epic conclusion to this amazing trilogy speaks for itself because there is a lot of things this film gets done real well, such as the visual effects, the performances, once again, action sequences, the direction, screenplay, musical score, the costumes, design, and of course the emotional depth. Like, I really care about a lot of characters in this film, such as Frodo, once again played by Elijah Wood. Him and Sean Astin, their chemistry in this film is just simply amazing. When you have Sam, he is the heart of this movie. Sure, his performances in the past two films were good, but his performance in this film is outstanding because he was the moral center of this whole story. And not just that, he was telling Frodo to not trust Gollum. Both Gandalf the White and Aragorn has to win the war in order for Aragorn to become the king. I mean, it pretty much spoils the towel for what happens to this character in the film, but they did such a remarkable job of it. Peter Jackson made an amazing trilogy. This trilogy is beloved by a lot of people, and not one film in this trilogy is horrible at all. Saruman the White has such a small presence in this film. He's not in the theatrical cut, but he is in the extended version. And he's killed off in like the first 20 minutes. It's funny because he had a major presence in the second film, but he was just a minion for the end game, basically. But what makes this film real touching and endearing is the friendship between Frodo and Sam. Those two care a lot about each other. And in the beginning of the film, they obviously have banter, and Gollum is the main cause of it. You see, because Gollum had ended up killing his cousin in the beginning of the film, and it showed how the One Ring corrupted his mind, and eventually made him treacherous and dangerous. And not just that though, but Frodo, he's really being weighed down by the ring. It's taking a heavy toll on his mental health and all that. And, you know, even towards the end of the film, he's willing to still keep the ring despite all the problems that it's caused. Nonetheless, though, this is such a epic storytelling that I really don't have any complaints about this film. It is probably easily one of the best trilogies I've ever seen. It's probably right up there with Star Wars. Like, that's how important this trilogy is. You know, the landmark in cinema back in the early 2000s, the amount of Academy Awards it won during that time. It just makes it all around for a complete trilogy. Thankfully, none of these three films are bad. A lot of people say in the past that the third film is the worst of the trilogy. Thankfully, that's not the case here. This is a overall epic adventure, to say the least. I'm giving this film 8 out of 10. An epic conclusion to this incredible trilogy. Like, there's not one bad thing I have to say about any of these three films. And this film is by far the darkest of the three. Simply because with everything that goes on in this movie, as well as the emotional depth, like, I literally cried in a certain part in this film. That's how much this film had touched my heart. Sam and Frodo are the key to this film. They are the two most people in this film that has the most courage, and they're very brave. And I really admire that simply because of what those two went through in all these three films. And this movie has a happy ending because none of these characters actually die, and that's real fulfilling. Not often in trilogies where characters don't get killed off, and normally sometimes I'm all for killing off certain characters in order to add more emotional depth to the film, but that wasn't really necessary for this film because it was such a journey. It was the end game. It was everything that was going on in this film. Besides, it would have made the film real sad if they had killed off any of these other characters in the movie. Nonetheless, though, this is a trilogy that everyone should at least watch. And that's my review of The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this film. And also, what is your favorite movie of this entire trilogy? Now, for those who are wondering, I am going to review the prequel Hobbit films on my channel sometime in the future, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, this is Film Guy 172 saying, peace out.